addressing the controversy around the purple sunscreen, talking about, is it technically contraband? Is it illegal in the US? Does it sting the eyes? Why onions? And is it actually invisible on all skin tones? And why the is it purple? We are going to talk about all of this, and I want to take the time to answer some of these questions in a pretty purple dress nonetheless. You might know, or you might not know, that I launched a purple sunscreen with Isntree, and this was something that took years to make. Isntree had the hyaluronic acid watery sun gel, which was one of my absolute favorite sunscreens, but it wasn't just perfect for my oily and acne prone skin. And I was constantly thinking, like, how can I get a sunscreen that works for my oily and acne prone skin but gives me a K-beauty dewy glow? There don't seem to be a lot of products that give you that glow for people who are more oily prone and acne. Again, glowy, not greasy. That's why I ended up reaching out, and we ended up working together to formulate this. And it is the Onion New Pair Sunscreen, which yes, has Mulan red onion extract. But when this finally came out, there were a lot of questions about it because it is a very weird, strange product. Again, it is a purple onion sunscreen, and it did sell out multiple times, and I'm sorry. And I believe it's back in stock now, but I will have to check because it restocks and then it gets sold out again. And we also have to talk about where it's available because we need to address the controversy, such as, is it contraband? There's a lot of questions that started popping up after I launched it, and I shared why I ate onions like apples in Korea and how this was made. I mean, let's dig into some of that. Do we want to talk about Amazon and Yes Style and Stylovana and if this is technically illegal? We'll save that for later. First, let's talk about onions and eyes. One of the main questions is, why onions and does it smell like onions? I'm so happy that this is fragrance-free. I wanted it to be good for more sensitive skin types, especially since organic or chemical sunscreens can sometimes be really irritating to, yes, both skin and eyes. Now, this was tested for literal years, and I rubbed this into my eyes as well as other people's eyes. Now, it's not 100% sting-free for everyone. Again, everybody's eyes are different, and it's never a good idea to rub sunscreen directly into your eyes. But did I? Yes. And we tried to come up with a formula that was as potent and as powerful as possible without causing burning, irritation, and stinging. Is it foolproof? No, but for me and many others, it is okay and non-stingy to use around the eyes. Again, don't rub it in the eyes. It's not optometrist tested or recommended. An optometrist is an eye doctor, and we weren't able to get an eye doctor to like rub it into people's eyes and do a study on that, so please be aware. But if you apply it around the eyes or even on the eyelids, we've worked really, really hard to formulate it to be safe and efficacious to the best of our abilities. And of course, when manufacturing in Korea, this meant a lot of samples were being shipped and flown overseas. I was rubbing them into my eyes and into other people's eyes. Inevitably, there's going to be someone who has irritation to one of the sun filters or to one of the ingredients. That's just really important to be aware of, and I don't want to say that it's going to be sting-free for everyone. Again, what about the onion? First off, why onion, and does it smell like onions? No, I'm so happy that it is fragrance-free. I don't know what it smells like. It doesn't even smell like sunscreen. It just smells like not even like a moisturizer, like maybe like a moisturizer maybe. If you have it, can you please post in the comments what you think this smells like? Because a lot of people were worried, onions reek, they make my breath stink, is this going to smell? And again, is the onion going to burn my eyes? No and no. Again, if anything, it smells just like a moisturizer, kind of like a powdery smell, because it gives you that K-beauty glow, but it has a little bit of silica in it, which kind of gives it that glowy velvet finish throughout the day, but doesn't cause the weird smells, and for, again, most people, doesn't cause the stinging and the burning and all of those things that we hate about traditional sunscreens. Now, that also gets into, is it SPF 40 or is it SPF 50? Because as you can see, it says SPF 40 PA+++, UVA and UVB. It was really important to me to make a UVA and UVB protective sunscreen. I wanted it to be both UVA and UVB, because remember, UVA are the aging rays and UVB are the burning rays. And when it has that PA+++, we don't see that a lot in American sunscreens, but in Korean sunscreens, it's quite common. Now, I wanted this to be an SPF 50. I tried so hard to make this an SPF 50. And when the testing was done, it actually came out to be higher than the SPF 40. Some tests came to be, I think, 46 to 49, and some of them actually got up to like 51 or 52. And basically what that means is that the sunscreen, before it's ever put out on the market is tested and it's put under UV light to see what is the actual SPF rating. Now, all sunscreens, when they're tested like that, they kind of come in a range. It's never perfect, right? And of course, depending on how much you apply and how often you reapply, the results that you get are going to be dependent. This is not going to protect you from the sub-Sahara desert for 20 hours. No sunscreen will without reapplication, right? But when you test the sunscreens with these professional machines and these UV lights, they come out with a range. And instead of saying that it's an SPF 45 or an SPF 49 or even an SPF 51, we said we're going to call it an SPF 40 because we know that it's at minimum SPF 40. We know it's actually higher, but we can't claim that, and we won't claim that because, we don't want it to vary and we want to follow the data. So tried really hard to make it SPF 50, but weren't able to definitively, and when it was retested time and time again. So in order to be honest and to stand up for integrity and to also make sure that anyone who buys this is getting something that protects them the way they expect, said let's call it lower instead of going higher. And that was the other thing, is that a lot of people were like, why isn't it a mineral sunscreen? The best sunscreen that you can get for you is the one that works for your skin. Chemical/organic or mineral/physical. And a lot of people say that like mineral/physical is better. Again, totally depends on the person. And I have found that mineral/physical over time has not necessarily been better or worse for my acne prone skin versus something that is chemical/organic. And when we were formulating this, it was nearly impossible to get a mineral sunscreen that was purple that blended in sheer. It was really, really hard because I wanted this to work on every single skin tone. And mineral sunscreens already have kind of a tendency to be ashy or gray or even purplish. And when combining the Muon red onion and purple pigment into a mineral sunscreen, it looked awful and it wouldn't rub in. And so I even played around with a tinted sunscreen, kind of like a tan color for a little bit. Ended up saying, you know what, let's go completely organic, completely chemical, and let's make sure that it is purple and that it blends in seamlessly. And that was kind of the decision behind that and why we chose these filters. Now, the filters that are in here are available both in Korea and in America. A lot of them are actually sourced from both Korea and Germany. However, not all of the filters are USA FDA approved. There's the KFDA, which is the Korean FDA, and the US FDA, which is the Food and Drug Administration here in the US. And the rest of the world has so many better sunscreen filters than the US has because we haven't gotten new ones since like, it was the 80s or the 90s. And it is really sad. And quite frankly, we do deserve better products. We do deserve better testing. We do deserve better access to ingredients that the rest of the world has tested and tried. The European Union has shown many of these filters to be safe and effective. Korea and other countries have as well. But the US is just like, unless someone pays us, hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars to test this, we're not going to. And it takes years upon years for that regulation. Very sad. Something needs to be done about it. Actually, Charlotte spoke to AOC on TikTok, I think it was, and they actually did a video about this and about how we deserve better. So hopefully things will start to change, especially since there is such a demand and a necessity for it. But so far, that can be quite difficult, which gets us to, is this contraband? But before we talk about that, let's just segue back to the mineral versus chemical sunscreen. The other reason that I really wanted to make sure this was chemical/organic was so that it did work on all skin tones. I wanted this to be something that blends into skin, that works for oily acne prone skin. But if you have dry skin, you could use it over a moisturizer. If you have combo skin, you could use it. If you have black skin, white skin, super pale albino skin, medium skin, no matter what skin tone, I wanted everyone to be able to enjoy this. And getting that right took a ton of time. So that is one of the questions. A lot of people look at it and they say, that's not gonna work for my skin tone. Either I am so pale, it's gonna make me look crazy, or I have black skin, I have brown skin. I'm so used to sunscreens looking purple and ashy on me, there's no way. Well, we tested this on so many skin tones. I sent it to so many people. Isntree sent it to so many people, and we demanded answers and testing and results. And total transparency, some of the first 3 iterations, they did not pass the vibe check. They were pasty and terrible and nasty. But finally, we did get it to a place where it blends in invisible. So it's purple when you apply it to the skin, but then invisible once you rub it in. And a lot of people are saying like, why purple? Well, first off, purple's like the best color ever. And second off, sometimes when you're applying, especially on the go or in the car, you can't see where you applied, or you don't know if you've rubbed it in enough. The way the purple in this works is that it's Muon red onion extract and ultramarine. And when this actually rubs into the skin, once you rub it in enough, it goes in invisible. And it does give you that K-beauty glow because of the ingredients, the B vitamins, the onion extract, and everything else. But I wanted it to be, number one, something that you can see where you applied it. And then number 2, you need to rub the sunscreen in. And a lot of people don't rub their sunscreen in well enough. So this is a literal visual guide that shows you where and how to do that. Now, it does rub in on all skin tones that we've tested, even if you do use the correct amount, again, 2 to 3 finger stripe. And yes, even the most generous amounts have worked on darker skin tones, albino skin tones, medium skin tones, basically everyone, because I wanted it to be as perfect as possible for anyone who has acne-prone, blemish-prone skin, but wants to love and enjoy K-beauty. And again, that was also one of the questions was about the onion. You know, if you're allergic to onions, can you use this? Maybe don't. That's something I wouldn't recommend. We tried to make sure that it's hypoallergenic, so there aren't a lot of ingredients that would cause irritation. For example, it's completely fragrance-free. But at the same time, if you have, you know, an allergy to silica or, you know, an allergy to B vitamins, then this won't be right for you. Obviously, avoid this. Don't use something that you know that you're allergic to. When it comes to the red onion, a lot of people are like, why onion? Like, what's going on? And let's talk about that, because a lot of people don't realize that onion is already in products like Mederma Scar Cream. Onion does not cure acne. It does not fix acne, anything like that. But there are some studies that show that onion can be beneficial for blemish-prone skin and for acne scars. Again, this is not a product that's going to cure that, and we don't have definitive research showing that onion extract will cure any of those conditions or issues. However, onion has been used in things like Mederma Scar Cream. It's been shown to be beneficial for inflammation on the skin, for redness on the skin, as well as for blemishes and scar support. And onion is used a lot in Korean traditional cooking, as well as Korean traditional medicine, and even in some skincare products. And I feel like it's more common in Eastern medicine in some of those Eastern countries than in Western countries. But when you see some of the results from people that have used it, when you see that onion has a lot of vitamin C, vitamin K, phosphorus, a lot of these trace minerals, and a lot of these antioxidants and benefits, it was a no-brainer for me to say, yes, let's formulate this sunscreen around this, make sure that it is blemish supportive for skin, and then add in some of those other ingredients that we did, again, like the silica for the texture, or like the B vitamins for the sebum support and the oil control. The other question is, Cassandra, why isn't your name on the product? As you can see, we do have our beautiful little butterfly. Fun fact, a lot of people don't know that our butterfly logo has a world map in the wings. It's supposed to stand for beauty without barriers. Fun fact. And it does have it at the top, but it doesn't say Cassandra Bankson anywhere. Why? Fun fact, I'm actually not getting paid for any sales of the sunscreen. Again, I got paid to consult on the chemistry. I got paid to consult for Isntree and to help make it, and of course to create videos like this one, but I'm not actually being paid for any sales of the sunscreen, meaning if 1 sells, or if 11,000 sell, or if 200,000 sell, I don't get more or less money. Is that bad? I don't know. There's actually a long story about how the conversations actually started and how I was screwed over by somebody on my team at the time, but long story for another day. But no, I'm not being paid for any of the actual sales. I got paid for the chemistry consulting and some content, but not the sales. And a lot of people were confused about that, so that's why we're clearing it up. Speaking of clearing it up, is this going to clear up your skin? Some people want to know if this is going to erase their blemishes and their acne. Again, this is made with blemish-prone skin in mind, but this is not considered an acne treatment product the way that the US Drug Administration operates and the way that the drug facts and the labeling on this product are. Again, it was made with blemish-prone skin in mind, and there are ingredients like vitamin K, vitamin E, B vitamins to support the skin, but in order for something, at least in America, to be considered an acne treatment product, it has to have 1 or more of these ingredients at a specific amount, tested and regulated by the FDA to show that it proves or treats acne. That's why you always see salicylic acid at like 2% in acne ingredient product, or benzoyl peroxide at 2.5 to 5% or 10%, right? This does not contain salicylic acid, it does not contain benzoyl peroxide, it does not contain a retinoid, and it does not contain sulfur. So because of that and the rules from the FDA, this is not an acne treatment product, and I want to be very clear about that. Again, made to be safe and supportive for blemish-prone skin. You can use this in the same routine as your other acne treatment products, but we wanted this to work with that. Again, this protects you from the sun, and that's what it does. And it helps support a healthy skin barrier. It helps to provide nutrients and antioxidants to the skin. Again, if you're oily, you could use this as a moisturizer and sunscreen step in one. You don't need a separate moisturizer. But if you want to use acne products, treatments, etc., this can go in the same routine. But this is meant to support blemish-prone skin and to give you that beautiful glow either under makeup or without makeup, but it does not treat acne. Again, there are ingredients in here that have been proven to help with redness or to help with blemish support, but that is very different than saying if you use this, your cystic acne will disappear. And that is something that I just want to be so clear of, because I understand I've struggled struggled with acne for so many years. I'm so passionate about treating acne and about helping people understand, number one, why acne happens, number two, why it's not your fault, and number three, that this is something that is natural. Like everyone goes through it at some point to some extent, and the acne bacteria is natural on our skin. I'm so passionate about helping people understand that and breaking down the stigma. But I think that my passion and then my expertise in medical aesthetics and helping people with their acne has automatically made people think that this is an acne treatment sunscreen or an acne treatment product. Absolutely not. Meant to be supportive, but this will not cure your nodular cystic acne. Please don't take it that way. And when it comes to taking it that way, and some people aren't because they can't, specifically because they can't get their hands on it. Again, it sold out within 20 hours, which was unexpected and really exciting, but like it sold out. And the brand Isntree tried to call the manufacturer and restock as quickly as possible. Again, it goes back up for sale and it's like in stock and then it's not in stock anymore. It goes back up for stock and then it sells out. The places that I know it's being sold are Yes Style, Stylovana, as well as Amazon. And specifically in America, Amazon is one of the fastest ways to get it because it has Prime delivery. However, it can be very difficult to get your hands on, and the controversy around that is that I, again, am not making any money on any sale of it. So I don't actually know when it's being sold or restocked or things like that. When I know that it's in stock, I post it on my Instagram stories. And when it's not, I sit there and I cringe because I was literally on my last bottle until I got an Amazon shipment of like 40 of them yesterday, because I'm sharing with a couple of friends and colleagues as well as some beautiful butterflies, fun fact. But I was on my last bottle and I was like, what am I supposed to do? It's sold out. And some people are saying, I understand it's available on Amazon, but I want to go to CVS. I want to go into Target. Where can I buy it? It's actually not sold on store shelves here in America. And this is the controversy of, is it contraband? The controversy around that and the answer to that question is, I don't know, because I'm not a regulator. I don't know if this is technically contraband or not, but some people are wondering if it might be. And again, the reason why is because while this is a sunscreen that has sunscreen filters that the US has approved, and while this also has filters that Germany and the European Union and the Korean FDA has approved, not all of the filters are recognized as sunscreen filters here in the US. So again, this has US sunscreen filters, but also additional ones that aren't. And because of the testing that was done, the US Food and Drug Administration might look at this and say, we need additional testing in US FDA approved laboratories for X amount of time in order to sell this on store shelves. And so far, I don't believe that process has happened yet. Does that make this illegal? I don't think so. Otherwise, I wouldn't be putting my name on it and promoting it and talking about it and sharing it with you. But at the same time, there's a reason that it's not allowed to be sold on US shelves, because it might be considered a cosmeceutical or it might be considered a cosmetic product as opposed to a sunscreen product with the SPF 40, which we know it is based on testing in the European Union and Korea, etc. And also, this is kind of why I wish that I had all of those answers, or that I could speak directly to some of those people that are doing the testing. I wish that I was getting paid for every sale of the bottle, but I'm not. And because I'm not a regulatory expert, I don't have all those answers. I mean, is it technically contraband? And I guess, like, what is contraband? Does that mean it's illegal? It's not illegal here, but like, it's not sold on store shelves. And that is confusing for me as well. And I wish I could sit here and tell you all of the answers, but the truth is that I don't know. And I'd rather be upfront with you and say, hey, I don't have these answers and I'm asking and trying to find out, rather than to say answer that isn't true. And it is kind of spicy. I'm like, okay. And I do wish that I could launch this on shelves at, like, I would love to see this in Target and in Ulta, especially for the price. Fun fact, when it's on sale, it's under 20 bucks. You can get it for 15. It's even been up for 11, but normally it's $22 to $25 depending on where you're getting it. And again, depending on the shipping, how many you get, if you get it Prime delivery or not, all that good stuff. But yeah, I do wish I had more answers, but those are answering the spicy questions and answers about this onion sunscreen. So while some of the questions and the controversy are spicy, the sunscreen was made to not be spicy on your skin. Although the onions that I ate in Korea did taste like spicy apples. The onions themselves were quite spicy. And if you have another question that I didn't answer, please leave it in the comments and let's discuss this, because I want to answer those questions if I have the answers. And if I don't, I will go and find them. Always remember to stay hydrated both orally and topically quickly reapply that SPF. You know which one I am so proud of and that I love. And of course, always remember to be beautiful both inside and out. I love you, and I genuinely cannot wait to read the comments on this one. And if you haven't seen the video of how I actually created this, of me eating onions in Korea, going there, speaking to top Korean dermatologists, and exploring the culture, the food, and the laboratory, literally right here, and it's also in the description and as a pinned comment. Go check it out because you're not gonna want to miss that, because again, a lot of controversial things happened in there too, such as my clothing choices during the photo shoot. Oh, that was terrifying, but you'll see how it turned out. Click there. Love you guys. Bye.